This is the Denza N9, a plug-in hybrid or electric large luxury SUV with 6 or 7 seats and plenty of power. It's got luxury in abundance. I'm going to show you the interior and we'll go for a drive in this short review. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get to it. What's a car like this going to compete with? Well, if it comes to Australia, it is going to be a plug-in hybrid or an EV. That's still to be confirmed. But hey, I guess you'd be looking at the likes of Mercedes, Audi, BMW, probably Lexus and Genesis too. But pricing is still a long way off. Denza is confirmed for our market, but they haven't lined up the models and told us what's coming just yet. I would suggest that this would make a very good fit for the market, and it's got a whole heap of great technology, including air suspension, 22-inch wheels, LED lighting all around the car, big glass roof, massive screens on the inside, and Napa leather seat trim with heating and cooled seats too. And this one is a 3-row vehicle, so I'll show you what the space is like shortly. But let's talk about the powertrains that are on offer. Under here is a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. This is the plug-in hybrid version of the Denza N9, and it offers a decent amount of grunt in its own right, but it's got a couple of electric motors mixed in here. So there's 2 at the rear and 1 at the front, and the total combined output is 680 kilowatts of power. And obviously it does have some EV driving range on tap, allowed with this plug-in hybrid system, 165 kilometers of EV driving capability. And then you've got a combined range of 1300 Ks according to the brand. And look, it's fast too, 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds for the plug-in hybrid. And you know what? The EV model, which isn't here today to test, has 710 kilowatts. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. Tell me what you think about the look of the Denza N9 in the comments section. Is it a bit too conservative for something so, I guess, profoundly huge? I'd love to know your thoughts. It is a 5.2 meter long SUV with a 3 meter plus wheelbase. It's huge and it weighs a lot as well, but it's on some really interesting suspension. So it's got an air suspension setup that is height adjustable, so you can raise it up, lower it down, and make things more easy for you to get in and out. And speaking of which, there are some really interesting side steps. So if I pull open the door, these side steps pop down to help you get up into the back. Now, speaking of the very back, let's have a look at it, because it's certainly an interesting taillight design. I'm not so sure that I love it, but I'd love to know if you think it works. Now, the boot space, with 3 rows up, you can see that there is a decent amount of space back there. It's certainly not going to be class leading in terms of the cargo capacity with that configuration, but you've got some storage on the side, a 12-volt port. There's a cubby under here with your charge cable and tire repair kit, no spare, and you've got some controls over here to move the seats if you need to, and also to lower the car. So you can drop it down. As you can see, it is dropping the car down there. So that makes it easier for when you are loading and unloading big items. Now, let's fold these seats down. Electronic folding, as you can see, and it does take a little while. You have to be patient. One thing I've learned as a parent is that you have to be patient. And yep, we're still going. We're still lowering seats. We're still doing it. And now you can see it as that configuration, a 4-seater. So that's maybe not the most clever use of space, but they don't necessarily fold all the way flat. I don't know if that'll be a deal breaker for some, but it might be. Okay, the interior of the Denza N9. Wow, it is opulent. It has some really interesting elements to this cabin design, I would say. And look, it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but I do think that it does have some serious wow factor inside. Now let's have a look at some of these blingy bits. So this is part of the stereo system. It's a 26 speaker sound system in this vehicle, and it is absolutely thumping. It's really, really impressive. Now, there's also obviously this massive touchscreen media system, and it's got some really great functionality when it comes to the controls for your air conditioning. So you've got front row adjustment, middle row adjustment, rear row adjustment, and also fragrance. So you can make it smell like mandarin or sunny morning or whatever. You've got air quality monitoring. There's other menus as well. You've got a sat-nav system here. As you can see, you can control things like your boot from there. Go into your drive modes here. You can adjust your air suspension and your steering. It does have a rear wheel steering system, and it can do some really interesting things like crab walk. Intelligent crab walk. That's right, it can actually pivot through tight obstacles that you might not otherwise be able to do, and it can do a very, very tight turn. So pivot to there. Okay, gotta hold the steering wheel, and it's twisting me around in my spot. That is really, really interesting technology. I feel sorry for the tires. I really, really do. But hey, that's just one thing on this car that is very different to what you might otherwise find in different markets. This is such a tech-laden vehicle with heaps and heaps of great stuff. It's even got buttons for some of the controls, so you can use your auto parking system there, drive modes there, EV or HEV mode there, and you've got a pair of 50-watt chargers, wireless charging. You've got USB ports down there as well, and in here you've got a friggin' fridge, which is pretty good. Yeah, it will keep things cool or heat things up. Now, the seat trim is lovely. It's a Napa leather seat trim. There are speakers in the headrests, and the seat, it's just so lovely and comfortable. And I'm not so sure about the woodish trim on the dashboard. It's got another screen over there, but it's really quite an interesting cabin with an abundance of tech. So let's check out the back seat. Well, the middle row seats, let's say. Oh, and to get out, you can press the button up there if you don't want to actually use your muscle to open the door. So I've used the step to step up into the back seat here, close the door using the button up there. Again, you don't have to use the button up there, but it's kind of neat. Now let's have a look at this little drop-out table, which is actually a really good height. It's certainly going to be family friendly, this vehicle. You've got some map pockets down there. Same on the other side. You can adjust this seat forwards if you want to using those controls there. You've got a touch screen down here for some ventilation and fan control stuff if you want to use it. And these seats, again, lovely, lovely, lovely. They've got drop down armrests. They've got some little pop out cup holders, and they've got wireless phone charging docks with USB-C ports. You've also got ISOFIX points, as you would expect, lovely adjustable headrests, and there's a bloody big screen up there too. It's a little slow, hang on. You can put a movie on if you want to, so let's put this one on here, shall we? See if this volume control will work. Wow, the sound system, that is like, that is popcorn worthy, people. Yeah, I've got a remote control for that screen as well, which is really, really nifty. Now, yeah, amenities back here, very, very good. You've also got overhead illuminated mirrors and a lovely little ambient light strip up there. Glass roof, as you can see, a very big glass roof. And to get into the very back row, there is no, well, adjustable elements to these seats to the point where you can easily climb through behind them, but they can do something nifty. So let me just see if I can get this to happen. 1 second. So there's a little set of controls down here, and you can actually slide these seats forwards and acrosswards. So you've got electric seat adjustment there, and you can get them closer together if you want them closer together for whatever reason, or you can push them out nice and wide, so you get a bit more space between the kiddos in the back. Right, now let me jump into the third row and see what the space is like. ISOFIX points there, as you can see. So it's a 6-seater, this model. So that seat is set where I was sitting before, and there's a few different controls to adjust the seat position. So you can slide it forwards or you can slide it backwards if you want to. And you've also got some adjustment to the base and the backrest. So as you can see, it's sliding forwards or backwards. I'll put the headrest up and show you that I still have enough headroom back here to be able to fit in this position. And it's a really spacious cabin. Maybe not the most practical, but certainly very, very thoughtful in a lot of ways. You've got map pockets, and they are multi-pocket pockets on both seat backs as well. So you're not really missing out in the back, and you also get USB-C ports and vents and cup holders and speakers and lights, and it is really quite nice in the third row of this vehicle. Luxurious and reasonably spacious too. All right, so Denza N9. Whoa, flibbity gibbets, that is quick, people. And wow, this car, straight off the bat, I'm surprised by the handling of this big SUV. Air suspension doing its job over the bumps. Barely even feel them, honestly. It's pretty bloody impressive. And it is huge and it is heavy, but it's really quite good in terms of the way that it's handling itself, even in these tight sections. It's got four-wheel steering, which is one of the big things about this car. It can basically pivot in a much smaller fashion than you would expect. Considering its size, it's a big unit. It does have a surprisingly tight turning circle because those rear wheels can turn to help you turn. So it is super in terms of the handling capability. And flip, that is so quick too. Wow. Okay, I think I need another go at that. This is power, baby. This is a big vehicle, but it has hustle to it. The steering also has surprising weight. Like I said, it is four-wheel steering over the bumps. The bumps, it does bump so well. The suspension of this vehicle is really impressive. And it's height adjustable as well. So if you do find yourself running into some rougher surfaces, you can easily lift the suspension up into an off-road height. And wow, far out. This thing, apart from maybe the brake pedal being a little bit hard to judge, it is an absolute hustler. It's got adjustable seats as well, so the seats actually have bolstering that can make it more comfortable for you. And in, whoa, max speed, it is so quick. And it does pull itself up pretty well as well when you need it to. So yeah, this straight off the bat feels like a very convincing luxury SUV experience, and more high tech than lots of the other luxury SUVs out there, but in a convincing way when it comes to the drive experience. Wow. The Denza N9 is impressive in a lot of ways. It's spacious, it's comfortable, it's pretty practical, and it's very, very powerful. So what should it cost? Have your say in the comments. Would you choose this over one of the established luxury brands? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. I'll see you when I see you.